Hi, Rosebud here. Today I wanted to make a video talking about holy wells or sacred springs. This is sort of an extension of my last video on pyramids and ancient sacred sites. One of the commonalities amongst sacred sites in not just North America but the whole world is there being a site of a spring. And what I wanted to talk about today was just simply how interesting it is that these have been thought of as holy sites for such a long time, spanning different cultural and religious traditions, and obviously shapes how we or what we might think of as holy or sacred. Venerated holy water or spring sites can be found throughout the world. For example, where I live in Virginia, there is a spring in Hot Springs, Virginia, that they found 9,000 years of human visitation to this hot spring. And 9,000 years of people coming through is obviously going to be different groups of people, both indigenous and then people who ended up coming here. I mean, the site is still used, and regardless of who's in control of it, it's still used by humans, and that's simply interesting. And the same goes for holy wells in the British Isles and Ireland. When Rome came to England, they observed the Celts using wells as sites of religious meetings and simply veneration for life, because water in many different cultural traditions, water represents life, because where there's a spring, there's going to be plants and animals and people, and that's why they're sites of life, and that's why they're sacred. Life is sacred. And that's why I think it can be so special for us to go to a site like a holy well, because and experience it for ourselves and experience what our ancestors viewed as holy and how it's holy to us and how life is sacred to us. Continue the tradition of going to this spring site and utilizing it and venerating it by keeping it around and using it and having the experience for themselves. Similarly, a lot of wells were not just pagan but also marked and used by Christians. Some wells have Celtic lore behind it, like sites of Bridget. When the area was Christianized, they continued to view the sites as sacred and to upkeep them. Now, they did, in the 400s, they did put some laws to say, okay, you can go to the sites and we keep the sites up, but you can't be lighting torches and venerating nature. It's sacrilege. Now, that didn't stop people from doing that, and in a way, I think it's hypocritical because they're doing that themselves by using the holy water. But both Christianity and Celtic religions viewed water as sacred. Water in Christianity is baptismal, it's rebirth. It represents life, just like the Celtics would have viewed in a place like Ireland and the British Isles. Celtic wells were usually located in groves of trees. Just like anywhere, the spring site is going to be a site of abundance, and it was the Christians that came along and put granite walls and crosses at the site. And although they did that, the sites were still used, as they are today, for various purposes as holy wells. I hope that we can go to these sites, and by using them and appreciating their value, they can be protected, because while a lot of them surrounded in groves, the groves and the forests have been cut down, especially somewhere like Ireland that was under British occupation for 500 years, and they deforested it. Now they are building highways and roads just as they do in North America, and I'm sure other places. I think it's important that we go to these sites, and just by going there and appreciating them, I feel like it's inherently protective, and praying for them and whatnot. And yeah, it's amazing to just meditate on some of these similarities amongst humans, all humans through all time, and meditate on that and think about what it means to you and what is sacred, what is holy. Like I said, it's some sort of a universal truth, when it is something that is so transcendent. And I think universal truths are written on our heart. And the more we get to know our own heart, the more we can exist in this world in a hopefully more understanding and with more observant, loving eyes. Thank you so much for watching this brief video about holy wells. I'm honestly just interested in my video about ancient pyramids. I got so many amazing comments on my video where people shared their personal experiences with finding sacred sites, animal rock formations, pyramids, whatnot. And so I encourage, if you guys have any experience with sacred springs, sacred waters, what it means to you, your experience with it, I am so curious to hear. So thank you for watching.